I can't think of anybody I'd rather have sitting with me right now than my good friend Sheila Jones, who's Director of Marketing and Public Relations with Mountain Valley Hospice and Palliative Care. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
First of all, before we get into some things I want to ask you about hospice and hospice care, give us a thumbnail sketch for people that don't know, maybe they just moved in the area. What is hospice and who do you serve?
We provide care for those with a limited life expectancy of 6 months or less, or maybe someone who has a serious illness. We do that in 17 counties, North Carolina and Virginia, Surrey and Yadkin, and anything that touches those, and then Carroll, Grayson, and Patrick above the Virginia line, anything that touches those.
And it's not just care for a terminally ill patient or somebody that's chronically ill and headed that way.
Mm-hmm.
The families are involved too, and you're helping them, right?
Yes, the families, we use a team approach, so that where we have a team of people, nurses, chaplains, social workers, the whole medical team, that takes care of the family as a whole. The caregiver is just as much as a part of that care as the person receiving the care.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because you and I don't talk about that when we get together. We don't talk about the respite care too often, but most people who are hospice patients, like my parents did, receive hospice care in their own home. You do have two beautiful hospice homes, but most people do receive care at home. And there's something called respite care that you offer, and I think it involves some volunteers and other staff, but let's explain to the folks what that means.
One of the biggest things is that anyone under hospice care can receive what we call a respite stay at one of our facilities or any inpatient facility. So for 5 days, if the caregiver's just struggling because they're tired, and that happens, they're taking care of patients 24/7, we can put the patient in the facility, care for them for 24/7 for about 5 days, and then we can bring them back out and things can help them have that little bit of rest. It can be a planned stay, such as maybe the caregiver is, the patient's the mother and the caregiver's the daughter, but the granddaughter's getting married and she
Sure.
needs to be able to have time to do those things. We can put
Gives the
patient
caregiver a
can
break.
the patient can be cared for, so that the grandmother, the daughter can do what they need to do for the wedding.
You know what I think?
Plan, vacation, same thing.
Well, that's true, and I remember you telling me this a long time ago. Another thing I think is really neat, which sort of goes along the same thing of helping families and patients, pet peace of mind. What is that all about?
Well, think about the little lady who has had this lap dog since her husband died. And she's had this lap dog for 7 years, and now she's got to go into the hospice home to get her pain under control. Who's going to take care of Fluffy? So Fluffy is left to either be there by themselves or boarded or whatever. But most of the time, it's that patient that's their baby too, so they're going to refuse to go or not want to go. So we have a network of volunteers, as well as a network of veterinarians' offices who help us out by that. We can foster that animal while that patient's in the hospital or hospice home. We can sometimes we even spay or neuter that animal to get it ready to find a forever home once that patient passes, because
Right.
the family may not want it. There's many things we can do in that Pet Peace of Mind program.
And of course, Mountain Valley Hospice is a non-profit organization. It's the holiday season. Tell me some ways that people can help through either donations, or I think there's something special they can purchase nowadays. Tell me some ways we can help.
Well, some of the biggest ways we can help, of course, is make a donation to help us care for our family. Think about it. We are blessed that we're not able to turn anyone away based on inability to pay. We provide that service. They just have to have a terminal diagnosis and agree to services. We have our development department who helps us with fundraising and different things.
Big events, fundraising
and we call
events.
that great. Having grateful families that we've served can make a gift, as well as like you said, purchasing the ornament, donating stuff to our resale shop, as well as volunteering. The New Year's coming up.
Volunteering is something you always need volunteers. I'm thinking New Year's is just around the corner too.
It is.
Is that something you want people to think about as a resolution? Or?
Don't wait till New Year's. Come on now.
Come on now,
Come on now, because you can make an impact. It's a few hours of training. We can help you with, you can help patients with running errands, maybe hanging out at the house while the loved one goes to run an errand. I mean, somebody's got to go to the drugstore. Somebody's got to go to the grocery store.
Right.
Be that volunteer to be at that home and let that caregiver do that.
Nothing better than a hospice volunteer,
and
folks.
I promise you will get way more back than you give.
Absolutely. And up on screen is some information I really want everybody to have and pay attention to. mtnvalleyhospice.org. That's the website, www.mtnvalleyhospice.org. You can also call toll-free 888-789-2922, which I believe that's on screen as well. It covers a large area. They serve a lot of good folks, do a lot of great things, and you can set up a time to do a consultation, talk with somebody, part of Sheila's team, or you can find out about purchasing the ornament. Is that right,
Yeah.
too? Making donations, that kind of thing. Sheila Jones, happy holidays to you, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
All right, dear. Thanks a lot.